one of the really good things about living on the 17th floor in the project building that the elevator never worked. I know it's rumors that it worked when the building was first built, but I don't think I believe it. Was the fact that I run up and down these stairs, oh my goodness, 5 and 6 times a day, and it keep me in real good shape. Hey, Butta Baby, a group of kids called as they headed out the building with me. Hey, y'all going to school? Yep, they cried. Pooh Bear, one of the little knuckleheads in the building, he one of the little younger kids, Sometimes if I have some extra change or something, I hook him up. He came to me and threw his arms around my waist. Butter, can I have one of your apples, he asked. This was our morning routine. Nuh-uh, because last time I gave you an apple, you were supposed to bring me one of those donuts I like that your school make. I know I did, but I got hungry on the way from school and I ate it. I tried to keep a straight face. He was always so serious. Okay, here. I reached in my pocket and gave him one. But I want my donut today. Okay, he yelled before he ran to catch his friends who were already across the parking lot. Hey, Butter! I heard in the distance. I looked up. Oh, yeah, there was Big Mike leaning against his heavy Chevy. Big Mike was always a good start for a sister's morning. What's up, girl? He said as I walked his way, his eyes traveling slowly down my body. Not a thing, Mike. What's up with you? Getting ready to blaze one on the way to work. You riding? Yes, sir. And without further ado, I jumped into the passenger seat of the car. I can always depend on Big Mike to have some treats. Damn, Butter, you look good as hell, he said as he got in the car and started it up. I was very aware that Mike was attracted to me. In fact, I was aware that a lot of the guys in the hood was attracted to me. However, I just wasn't attracted to any of them. Now, this reason was through no fault of their own. It was some fine brothers in the hood, don't get me wrong. It was me. I'm damaged. I have watched Dollar Bill abuse my mother way too long to ever set myself up for that trap. That's why I've made a couple pledges to myself. The most important one, however, is that I am never, ever getting married. That ain't for me. I'm not giving that man, no man, no kind of control over me like that. Nah, I'm not the one. Look at what happened to Lovely. I'm telling you, if my mother ain't taught me nothing else, she taught me don't give no man that kind of power over me. Message received loud and clear, Lovely. You ain't never got to worry about me doing that. But to Mike, I simply responded, thanks. You really know what to say to make a girl day? No need for him to know how I really feel about him. I topped that compliment off with one of my killer smiles. Lovely is my mother after all. And if I ain't learned nothing else from Lovely, I learned how to manipulate a man. We pulled up and parked at the barbershop in which he owned. He killed the engine and turned on some music while we finished off the beat. For a while, we just sat lost in our thoughts. Him thinking about who knows. And me thinking about my mom. Oh, please, somebody tell me where is my mother. I am a mother's girl. I need my mom. She the only person in this life. Oh my goodness. I didn't even want to think about it. Butter? He asked sometime later. By this time, we had smoked another half a bee. So, safe to say we was feeling nice and placid. Yeah, I pulled my knees up to rest against my chest. Now, I know Mike hated when I put my boots in his seat, but I didn't really care. Why you ain't giving it up to nobody, he asked. His question didn't surprise me. I got asked this often. 'Cause I ain't stimulated, I answered him honestly. And although I know he won't understand me, I gave it to him the truth anyway. Stimulated? What you mean, like foreplay? Yeah, but for my mind. You know what I mean? You know the saying, you gotta get in her head first. What a nigga gotta do to stimulate your mind? He asked, holding his head up from his own seat rest. You can start by stop calling yourself a nigga. I looked out the window and watched as old Freddie, our neighborhood drunk, went into the liquor store for his morning bottle of nitrate. I don't know, Mike. I guess I ain't turned on by niggas, that's all. I exhaled and looked at him, hoping he'll understand. Oh, so now you got a problem with the thugs, he said. No such luck, I thought. I should have known he wouldn't have understood me. Not at all. I love me some thugs. I just ain't found one to stimulate my mind, that's all. You know what the problem is, he said, tapping the book in my pocket? You read too much. Every time I see you, you got an apple in one hand and a book in the other. You a legend in these streets. The famous Butta Baby. Sticky finger extraordinaire. Queen of the ghetto. Dollar bills princess. Man, you untouchable. But what you do with your street cred, you waste your time reading books. Now listen, y'all. First off, any other time when anybody addressed me with dollar bill, I'm ready to fly off into a rage, except his protection. Now, it's true I hated him, but because he had taken me and my mama under his wing per se, I had a certain level of protection in the street. And living in this hood, you needed as much protection as you could. But what disappointed me in this conversation was what he said about my books. Only in the hood is reading a bad thing. I didn't bother trying to give Mike a peep into my head. He wouldn't even begin to understand if he tried. But I comforted myself with the thought that one day I'm going to claw my way up out of this neighborhood and then I'm going to fly. I despised the feeling of being held down in quicksand, trapped in a box. Oh, that's what I felt like here. That's why I ain't never getting married. I felt like I was drowning, and each day it was getting harder and harder for me to breathe. I would have been gone by now had I been able to convince Lovey to leave the hood. Plus, of late, I've been having this feeling that I haven't been able to shake, like something is calling me. It's true, I read a lot of books, but nothing has filled this void that exists inside me. I want to be free, free from the ghetto and all its possibilities. And no, I don't want to be rich and famous either, don't get me wrong, because they didn't look too free. I refuse to trade my poor burdens for more expensive ones. Nah, that's not what I'm looking for. See, what I want to do is, I want to climb the tallest mountain and look at the world below. I want to dance in a field of yellow flowers that grow as far as your eye can see. I want to run through a blossom orchid as their petals rain down and kiss my skin. I want to go to the Guyana, y'all, and stand under Katura Falls. It's so much I want to do. But reign as the queen of the ghetto? Nah, that ain't one of them. Look, Butter, look, here come Dollar Bill, Mike said, sitting up like a kid in a candy store. Now, there were very few sentences that could make me feel like the sentence Mike just said has. For example, if he was to say, look, here comes Satan, or look, here comes 1,000 deranged people infected with the bubonic plague, eating people, it would have had less of a negative impact on me than the words he did say. I tried to scoot down in the seat, praying that the person I hated worse than Satan didn't see me. But when 10 seconds later, a sparkling new black Cadillac pulled up next to Mike's heavy Chevy, and Mike quickly rolled down the window to greet the bastard like he was Jesus or something, I knew my prayer was not getting answered. Get in the car, Butter, was all the devil said. He didn't even acknowledge the fact that Mike was sitting there looking at him like a starved puppy just waiting to be recognized. Oh, I hated him. I leaned my head against the seat and closed my eyes. I thought about that little girl in Forrest Gump. Y'all remember the one with the real southern accent? The one that said, Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far away. Come on, Butter, I don't have all day. The voice of my oppressor grated on my nerves like glass, and like glass it shattered my fantasy of ever flying away from this place. Well, alright, Mike, I guess I'll holler at you later, I said, getting out the Chevy and sliding into the Cadillac. What's up with you, little mama? He asked as soon as I closed the door. Nothing much, I responded, looking out my window. Although I hated Dollar Bill, it wasn't wise to let him see it. When he's mad at me, he takes it out on my mother, and vice versa. When he's mad at her, he takes it out on me. He uses our love for each other to control us. Mama taught me how to pretend to like him, but it's hard for me to do it when I'm high. It's like when I look at his handsome face, the only thing I see is a vampire. You seen your mama? Nope, I rolled my eyes, because I would bet any kind of money he has, the bastard. I won't put it past him had beaten her up or got her somewhere in the hospital or something. Well, since she decided to take a vacation, that means you need to put in overtime. I didn't respond. I understood my job. I've been stealing for Dollar Bill ever since he discovered my talent at 10. If I did do my job well, it kept him in a good mood, which means he didn't beat Lovely. He never let me keep any, not even a little bit, of the money I stole. He just kept our rent paid. Just like any good pimp, he did a good job of keeping us dependent on him. I had wanted once to get a job. The ladies at the Garfield Conservatory, they talked me into working up there. They said, "Oh, you'll be a good asset." Oh, they really wanted me to come work up there. They had asked me every day. I went home real excited, and I told Lovely. I said, "Lovely, Lovely, guess what? The ladies at the conservatory, they want me to work for them." Oh my goodness. When Dollar Bill got wind of it, he flew into a rage. He grabbed Lovely by the throat, and he dug his fingers in his neck. "What game y'all playing at? You think you gonna leave me?" he yelled in my mother's face. Her face had gone from red to purple. I cried, and I begged him to stop choking her. Finally, I agreed never, ever to work for nobody but him. "If you need something, you come to me," he yelled at me. I nodded, but I'd rather cut my tongue out than asking for anything, which is why the very few things I owned, I took real good care of. "You know your mother will be back," he said. I snorted at his attempt at comforting me, but I continued to stare out my window, wanting more than anything to be out his car. "I just left for paying y'all rent." "Thanks," I said, but I thought to myself how much he made my skin crawl. "Look, I got a job for you, but it ain't gonna be an easy one." Now, this drew my attention. I looked at him. I doubt that. Stealing ain't rocket science. For real, y'all. I know that did sound vain, but I'm good at what I do. Period. "Nah, Butter. I know you the business, but this dude is dangerous, and if he catch you, he will kill you." I shrugged. "Then I won't get caught." Dollar Bill smiled at me. "That's my girl." "Who is it?" I asked, wanting to stab him in his eye. "Lyon." "Oh, who?" I started choking, y'all. Oh my goodness, I started choking. At the mention of that name, I swallowed down the wrong pipe. Dollar Bill reached over and patted me on my back and caused me to cringe at his touch. "Who?" I gasped out a moment later. Yeah, 'cause maybe I had heard him wrong. "Lyon," he repeated. "Dollar Bill," I screeched. "Have you lost your damn mind?" Surely he has. Surely the man has gone crazy. "Who the hell are you talking to like that?" he said. He asked, cutting his evil eyes at me. "I'm talking to you like that. If you wanted me dead, why you ain't put your gun to my head and pull the trigger yourself?" I knew that I shouldn't be raising my voice to him, but I couldn't help it. The man had diarrhea for brains if he thought I was going near the Lion's Den. That was truly a suicide mission. Lyon is, okay, for example, let's say you're doing a report in school and you need to look up the definition for cold-blooded killer. You look up the definition for cold-blooded killer, guess whose face gonna be there? Lion's, okay? This dude is nothing to mess with. Everybody in the ghettos across America had heard the legends of his deeds. He was known for being a crusher, and I do mean crusher. Oh, hell no. Dollar Bill was trying to get rid of me, and that was clear. "No way, man. He out of our league. We're shooting too big there. We should probably temp it down. I ain't going in. Nope, I'm not doing it." I shook my head. I wasn't willingly walking to my death. If he wanted me dead, he was going to have to drag me. First of all, you don't tell me what you ain't gonna do. If I tell you to roller skate through the White House, you better tie your skates. You know what? He was always saying corny stuff like this. I thought to myself, what a clown. I rolled my eyes at him. He sounded like a fool. Well, I'd rather roller skate through the White House than throw my life away trying to rob this dude. You're gonna do what I tell you to do, or I'm gonna snap your mother's neck. That bastard. I sat back in my seat, defeated, and he knew it, 'cause that wicked smile on his, I knew he knew what was going on with my mom. Now there's gonna be a big fight happening at his gym tomorrow night. It's gonna be a lot of money in that joint. Now I figure ain't no bank's gonna be open when the fight's over, which means they're gonna have to keep that money somewhere in the gym. I exhaled. I was gonna die 2 weeks before my 20th birthday. How many stories have I heard of Lyon setting the streets of Chicago on fire? He got locked up, served about 9 years, and came out of prison more powerful than he was before he went in. He was truly a ghetto legend, and everybody feared him. I had heard my mother and her friend Sally talking when I was little. They said that he had put a man's head through a cement wall. Yes, you heard me. Put a man's head through a cement wall for spitting by his car. Another time they said he tied a man to the back of his car and did like 110 down the street, dragging the man behind him. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm scared as hell. The man is a beast. Plus, rumor has it now, I don't know if this is true or not, and I kind of, I try not to spread rumors, but rumor has it he got a big old freaking lion inside that building. Some people say they seen it, some people ain't never really seen it. I don't know if it's true. Either way, Dollar Bill sending me right in his den. I squeezed my eyes shut. Why, Mama? Why did you make me a prisoner to this man? Fear raced through my body like a raging river. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was never delusional that Dollar Bill cared for me. Not one whit. But I had no idea he hated me, and this was proof. There was nobody in the ghetto foolish enough to go up against Lyon. To do nothing, to try to rob him, nothing. It didn't matter how crazy a man thought he was. When he looked into Lyon's eyes, he changed his views on life instantly. How much money are we talking about? I asked, as if the monetary amount was going to somehow make my death worth it. We looking at least 100 grand. Menudo and Wong gonna be fighting there tomorrow night. I nodded. Both of those fighters was the best fighters in Chicago. So if they was fighting at the Lions Den, then they was definitely gonna pack the place. The Lions Den was one of them places all the up and coming fighters wanted to have their names attached to. You know what I mean? So not only because the owner was a legendary beast, but he also trained world champions. I mean, I heard it was like a waiting list, man, from here to Timbuktu to be trained by him. Several belt holders had come from the Lions Den. There's something else I need for you to take. See, this is what I mean when I say that I'm the smartest person I know. Because suddenly, I know for sure that whatever this something else is the true reason why he wants me to risk my life going into the den. What? I asked, more curious than I sounded. A staff. What the heck? A staff? Like a piece of wood staff? Surely I'm hearing wrong. You trying to get me killed over a piece of wood? Look, Butter, if I could send somebody else in there, I would. Trust me. Regardless of what you may think, I love you as if you were my own daughter. Okay, so this is why smoking weed can be dangerous for your health. Because the words that he just said caused me to double over with laughter. And I'm not talking chuckles. I'm talking grabbing my side, gut-wrenching laughter. And for the life of me, y'all, I couldn't stop. Maybe I had finally snapped. I mean, if Dollar Bill puts his gun to my head and shoot me, what's the difference? I was going to die anyway. Control yourself, Butter, he said. And his, I knew he was serious because he had this business voice going. And I was trying. I really was. But the drugs had tears coming out my eyes. I had never in my life heard anything so funny. Okay, I repeated, putting up one finger telling him to give me a minute. But after 2, I think I was able to control myself. You high on that stuff, ain't you? Of course not, I said, wiping the last of my tears out my eyes. Are you lying to me? Of course not. But I thought to myself, suck my boot, pig. Anyway, before you went on to decide to be extremely disrespectful and laugh in my face, I was telling you about the staff. Yeah, the piece of wood you want me to die for. It's not just a piece of wood, and he won't have it lying around. He probably will have it guarded better than the money. I doubt that. What is it, like the magic staff to Arthur or something? I chuckled at my own joke. Boy, I was on the road. First of all, Arthur had a magic sword, and he was a fictitious character. However, this staff belonged to Moses, and it is where the story of Arthur and the magic sword originated. Okay. Look, Dollar Bill, stop playing. I started laughing at him again. This damn weed, I'm telling you, it was going to get me killed. But come on, if you were high and somebody had just said these words to you, do you think you'd be able to keep a straight face and not laugh? I doubt it. You know, this is a serious job, and I really wish you hadn't smoked that shit before it. Oh man, his anger dried up my laughter. If Dollar Bill cursed, he was mad, and I had seen him do some violent things in his anger. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't smoke nothing. So, back to the magic staff. He looked at me for a long while before he spoke. It's very important that you get it. Even more important than the money. Oh, I told you. See? Didn't I tell you? Man, I'm good. I'm going to drop you off at the gym now, so you can do whatever it is you do. But Butta, please be careful, because you're very important to me regardless of what you may think. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I began to tune him out. See, this thing was happening, and I needed my mind right. Damn, I really shouldn't smoke that weed. Okay, I can do this. Even though this is not my normal gig, I can do this. Normally, Dollar Bill just had me relieve some random drug dealer some cash, or hit off some bodega, or break into some house or something. There was no real science to it. I found a way in, I found a way out. I had to try to look at this job the same way, even though all my senses were telling me it was different. I went into meditative mode. I will not be afraid. I will not be ashamed. I will not fail. This is my life. It's hood, it's gutter, but it's all I know. Period. I inhaled, I exhaled. But whereas before this always worked to put me in the mood, to take care of my business, get in, grab it, get out, it wasn't working this time. There was a voice in the back of my head telling me, this ain't no little job. This was huge. Lyon ain't one to be messed with. And here I am, getting ready to mess with him. Big time. I'm fixing to steal his magic staff. Oh, goodness. A magic freaking staff. I don't know who's crazier. Dollar Bill for sending me in there after an imaginary object, or me for going in there to get it. Dollar Bill dropped me off around the corner from the 3-story gray building. Do you want me to wait for you? He asked. I shook my head no. I don't know how long I'm going to be. I got to stake it out. I got to get my mind right. I'll catch the bus when I'm done. Please, I haven't had enough of this monster for one day. Okay, call me when you get home. Sure, will do. I thought to myself, don't hold your breath, pig. I'm serious, Butta. Call me when you get home. Okay, Dag. Oh, wish he'd leave already. Be careful, he said again, looking me directly in my eye, as if that would somehow give me magic powers like his imaginary magic staff. Finally, he pulled off, and I was able to focus on getting my mind into stealth mode. I took my time walking around the corner, carefully studying the building from all angles. The gym looked intimidating with its bland gray walls. Unlike other gyms, there was no flashing lights or banners of buff men and women. It was just one lone sign that read the Lyon Den. Either you knew about this place or you didn't. The adrenaline began to pump through my veins as I forced myself to take deep breaths in and out. This is my life. It's what I do. I'm good at it. I reached down into my side pocket and I grabbed meat, one of my green apples, taking a big bite out of it. I never left home without my brain food. Inhale, exhale. Okay, I centered myself, and my mask was in place. I opened the door and went in. A warm breeze that smelled like sweat and musk hit me in my face as I took a minute to study the locks on the front door. Right away, I knew that I was going to have to find another way in. The sledge built-in alarm was not a lock to be taken lightly. Before the gears moved, it first had to be deactivated. Mentally, I checked off the front door as I walked in. The gym was packed, mostly men, a few women sprinkled in. Surprisingly, there was not only black men training here, but a few white, a couple Hispanic, even an Asian guy. Also, to my surprise, there were a lot of young boys surrounding the ring that sat in the very center of the gym, watching two men grapple. Taking a bite out of my apple, I let my gaze casually roam the gym, as if I was admiring its structure. What I was really doing was first taking in all the exits, just in case I needed a quick escape. Second, I was looking for the building's vulnerability. Every building had one. It just took a little finesse to coax her into opening up and telling me where it was. Lyon noticed her as soon as she walked through the door. For just a moment, when she had opened the door, the bright sun made her hair appear to be a brown flame surrounding her. Nuria, he thought. Yah's fire. He had to blink to make sure she was real. He had never seen a woman more beautiful. She dressed in a plain white tank top that hugged her full breasts and slim waist, a pair of army fatigue cargo pants that clung seductively to her hips, and her little feet were a pair of brown Tims. What a sexy little soldier, he thought. He watched as Nuria opened her mouth and put the apple between her teeth, then raised both of her hands and wrestled that amazing hair into a ponytail. The position of her raised arms caused her plump breasts to poke out as if they begged for his attention. His body reacted instantly, startling him. He had seen plenty of sexy women, and never has his body reacted like this by just looking at one of them. He shifted on his feet so that he could adjust himself. The big cat at his feet shifted as well, throwing his body against Lyon as he laid on the floor. A lesser man would have failed at the impact. His eyes lowered as he watched her walk around casing out his joint, pretending to be interested in the weight bench for a moment before she moved to the punching bag, until she stood by the back door. She bended down in front of the door and tied one of her boots. What was she doing, he wondered, as his eyes followed her to where she now stood in the middle of the gym, looking up at the second level that was easily seen from the first, because it was an open square gym. The ring was at the very center. She walked over to the windows, appearing to look out at something. Then she turned to let her gaze work over the gym as a whole. She startled when her eyes met his, as if she was surprised to catch him watching her. Her lips lifted in a half smile as she took another bite out of her apple, looking like a mischievous little kitten. It was almost as if she was daring him. She broke eye contact with him, nodding to the music that played on the loudspeaker as she turned to continue her tour of his gym. After she made a full circle, she slipped off into the ladies' room. I put my hand to my chest, trying to calm my heart from beating so fast. I didn't think Lyon was going to actually be here. Oh man, he was way more than I had imagined. I had saw him before, but only on TV, like I saw some old footage of him, like his court case and him being led to prison, but I had never seen him in real life. He was just way more than anything I could ever imagine. So until today, he had been something of a mystery to me. Of course, I wondered, like anybody, what kind of man puts another man's face through a brick wall. And trust me when I tell you, even then, I could not have imagined what I just seen out there. Oh my goodness. First off, he is freaking huge. He had to stand at least 6'5", and he was diesel big. His arms gripped with muscles that strained from where he folded them across his meaty chest. What the hell? He could kill me with just one hit from his fist. Oh my goodness, I can see it now. Him hitting me in my face and breaking my neck, back, and spine just crack. Oh, and his hair. Magnificent. I had never seen hair like that. His dreads fell down past his waist like ropes. I had seen a lot of brothers with locks before, that you could tell they was trying to look like him with it, but his hair started off black at the roots, but the further down his dreads turned brown from the sun. They appeared to be the same color as his skin and his eyes. Oh my goodness, those eyes. So intense. I like the head jumped out of my boots when I caught those fierce brown orbs watching me so closely. I don't think y'all even understand what I'm telling y'all. What it felt like to have his full attention on you. It felt as if the room had gone completely dark and the only light was those two intense beams shooting from his eye sockets. I felt as if he could see straight through me. I almost choked on my apple. And then he scowled at me. Like I was a kid. He scowled at me. I felt like a deer standing in front of a hungry lion. Speaking of lion, it's true. It's true. Laying at his feet on his side, looking at me lazily like his owner, was the biggest lion I had ever seen. Ain't it like illegal to like have like foreign exotic animals in Chicago, like monkeys? And I mean, I know Michael Jackson had a monkey, but like, ain't it, don't you gotta like be a magician or something to be able to have a lion? Anyway, I clutched the sink as a shiver raced down my spine. It had taken every ounce of strength I had to keep my mask in place. And his beard. It was just as impressive as his locks. Braided, it fell just above his collarbone. Some of the boys in the neighborhood tried to rock his style with the locks and the beard, and at first I thought some of them looked real good doing it. That was until I saw the real thing for myself, and they paired in comparison. It's something real powerful about his looks and about him. Yes, I will never forget those eyes. Oh, his features. He's handsome, but he's not like your typical handsome. He's hard handsome. Hard rugged edges. Hard cheekbones. His nose looked like he had been broken a couple times. He was rough, but he was still. It just was something about him. Whew. I gotta get myself back focused. Damn, that's the kind of brother your mother tried to warn you about. He reminds me of a drawing I once saw in a book titled Great African Kings. I could see him back in that time, ruling great nations, heading up powerful armies, leading the charge. Get back focused, Butter. This man was making me come unhinged. Oh, this have absolutely never happened to me, y'all. I'm serious. I've never been broken up like this over a man. Trust me. Okay. I need to focus. Get my head back in the game. Now, why did I come here in the first place? Oh yeah, the windows. Goodness, see what I'm saying? I walked over to the window to look at it. Oh, yes, a Windsor lock. I smiled. This was it. This was my way in and out. They didn't make a Windsor lock that I couldn't open. Perfect. Quickly, I simply opened the lock. And just like that, I had my way in. Well, that was easier than I expected. I stopped at the mirror one more time to give myself a last look. Freshed up my lip gloss, got myself together, prepared myself mentally for walking back out here. I had a plan. I was going to walk back out here and I was just going to walk straight past. I wasn't going to look up at him. I was just going to walk straight out the door. Casually, not suspect, but casually. But there was no way I could look at him and like not trip or anything. I headed for the door and I flung it open. I walked out of the bathroom, but before I could take 2 steps, that huge lion walked around the corner and came straight towards me, y'all. I froze. My first instinct was to run back in the bathroom, but before I could even back up, his master stepped into the hallway behind him, looking at me directly in my face and in my eyes, taking me in. And then the strangest thing in the world happened to me. Time just seemed to freeze.
There's a new day coming, everything gonna be turning over. Everything gonna be turning over. Where you gonna be standing when it comes? There's a new day coming, everything gonna be turning over. Everything gonna be turning over. Where you gonna be standing when it comes?